Welcome to the planet of flowery death.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they take this scene from Revenge of the Sith just before the clone troopers kill her.
That was the same thing with Garimundi.
The CIS is entrenched on Felucia and have beaten back several attacks. The 182nd Legion landed last month and hasn't been heard from since. As the Republic's finest, the burden is now upon the 501st to liberate Felucia.
Heart of Darkness, I swear, what's that the name of a movie?
And a book as well, yes.
It's been said that the 501st got the best of the war. We also got the worst. On Felucia, the Seps dug their metal heels into the muck of that alien hellhole and dared the Republic to come in after them. So we did. Only to be met with the month after month of flesh-eating diseases, shrieking nocturnal predators, and other sights that haunt me to this day. Cut off and for all we knew, abandoned by our superiors. Our only hope was Aayla Secura, our Jedi commander. Without her iron will, none of us would have come out of that mess with our sanity or our lives. When her death came...
And yes, just to reiterate, you can indeed play as Shaak Ti in this, as well as people like Ventress too.
Yeah.
Just not in the main campaign.
I will say, in regards to Grievous and his aura and whatnot, it seems like they might be moving back to letting him be like he was in the Tartakovsky cartoon, since recently there was this show, Tales of the Empire, which goes back to Grievous's assault on the Night Sisters, essentially. And he pretty much acts like he did in the original show. He even gets to keep the cape on during the fight. Thank goodness. Although, funnily enough, if you look at how that lines up with how it went in the Clone Wars series, that implies that he ditched the cape, then put the cape back on, then ditched the cape again, essentially when he meant to make his final assault.
So yeah, remember the sect creature from the main climax of episode 2? Those are from this world, Felucia. If you play Warhammer 40k, it's basically the equivalent of Katasha, basically. Jungle planet where it's basically Australia. Everything is giant and wants to kill you in some fashion.
Gotta love how jittery they are. Also, I love how morbid it is that as soon as, the one you play as dies, it's not like he gets back up. Oh, no. You just assume command of the next meat puppet.
That's what the clones were for, expendable.
My consciousness just leaves the dead clone trooper and goes into another.
Don't make me.
Honestly,
don't
one thing
please.
Oh, goody, Mind Jack, the older brother to Mind's Eye. Seriously, though, I know it's just a coincidence that they both have the term mind in their name, but how uncanny is it?
So there's the moral of the story. Don't put mind in the title of your game.
Clearly.
Moving in this direction. Defend the ATTE until Jedi Master Yoda arrives.
Oh yeah, these are... Oh yeah, I just love these missions where you have to just stand around something
Defend the castle, yeah.
Defend it for a set amount of time.
For almost 2 minutes.
And not stray too far, otherwise the enemy can just bomb rush it.
Although admittedly, okay, on the separatist, strategy, this is actually kind of ingenious. The droids are mostly into almost everything Felucia has to throw at them, while in contrast the clones are affected by, the fauna and the diseases, as the commander said. So... props to the strategist of them.
Yeah, but don't, if you see any fumes coming from the ground and you're a clone trooper, don't go over it, you'll choke.
A lot of good those helmets supposedly do with their filtration units.
Well, they carried that design mentality over to the Empire, so, gosh, where did the Empire fell? They were consistent in the wrong areas from the Republic.
Other series
the sad thing is,
and The Mandalorian do explore character cautions that the people from Mandalore actually went through in the fact that the clothes basically ruined their appearance.
Yeah,
and I turned on friendly fire for this playthrough because
you're too trigger-happy,
Well, that and it reflects the difficulty. I'm playing on normal. There's two difficulties, normal and elite. So I added the friendly fire for a bit of extra challenge.
Fair enough.
One thing I've noticed, like, stuff in the Clone Wars series and some other stuff does show that they were upgrading their suits and whatnot to be better functional. Most notably, Commander Rex, at some point, basically got what feels like a Mandalorian helmet mixed with the clone helmet, essentially, which pretty much got the best of both worlds. Great for comms, filtration, and vision and whatnot.
Hey, here's Obi-Wan's totally girlfriend, or maybe not. Yeah, even these days.
Wait. Hold on. No. Obi-Wan was actually more in love with the Princess of Mandalore.
Well, I remember that at least by the time of Legends, the Legends part, there was the implication that these two had a thing going on, at least slightly implied.
Which is funny, because later on it would be the canon clone series that would suggest that, I keep forgetting the blue Jedi.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
But the point is, like, apparently she had a thing going with one of the clones, apparently, and what's now considered more canon, whereas Obi-Wan was more with Satine.
So in this game, Ayla Secura is voiced by Rachel Reenstra. She was in a few video games in and around the mid-2000s, but recently she's just been doing more of her comedy stuff.
Surprised that they did not just slap Jennifer Hale on the role and call it a day.
I forget if this was maybe around that time where she was rising to prominence and she wasn't like, the absolute must or the go-to replacement yet.
I think she was still doing some stuff at the time. I don't know just how much.
She was. She was. What I'm trying to recall is if she was top of the mill yet.
When the 501st was finally rotated out of Felucia, Ayla Secura made a point of seeing us off personally, calling us the bravest soldiers she had ever seen.
Man, it really is wild looking back at the Legend stuff and realizing how much stuff got X'd. Again, some of it I do get getting rid of, like
for example,
Chewbacca died, essentially.
Also, I kind of get what they're trying to do to facilitate how ease up how the Order 66 went, but I kind of have, dislike the fact that they treat the Jedi like complete morons.
Now we're going to find out about the droid attack on the Wookiees.
Starting from orbit.
First line of defense.
The CIS is laying siege to the Wookiee homeworld of Kashyyk. Break through the enemy blockade and relieve the beleaguered garrison until more reinforcements arrive. Destroy the separatist flagship at all costs.
When the separatists' invasion of Kashyyk caught the Republic flat-footed, a detachment of the 501st was sent in to stop the bleeding until reinforcements could arrive. It was a textbook suicide mission and we knew it. As we fought our
it's funny you mentioned the Jedi being morons, Tio. It's like, there's actually some stuff, I forget if this was Legends, but I do know some stuff for sure in canon actually did show that the tragedy of Order 66 was that the Jedi were actually the few people who treated the clones like actual people, and then the clones, of course, had to slaughter them, essentially.
I get also the point that the prequels were trying to do, to showcase the hubris of the Jedi Council, and which led to their downfall and underestimating an enemy that was, right under their noses. But there are different ways to do it, and treating every single one of the more important Council Jedi as completely clueless about something that should be at least a bit suspicious, it's a bit eyebrow.
Oh, they were suspicious.
Yeah, okay. Let's keep in mind the scenario here, essentially. They were suspicious, but at the time, they were pretty much being backed into a corner. Was it suspicious that they got this sudden armada to help them? Yes, but think about it like this. Imagine you have a guy who literally has a knife to your throat, and then suddenly some hooded figure puts a gun in your hand, essentially. You find that suspicious, sure, but chances are you're gonna use the gun first to deal with the knife at your throat, essentially. It was basically a necessity of desperation in that regard.
I'm frankly more reminded about the real-life example of, you know, the different ups and downs of the communist revolution in Russia, and specifically how at one point the Bolsheviks were all in prison, but then an external party threatened the provisional government, so Trotsky and his men got given guns, and they were like, "Please, can you get them? You know, can you give them back to us?" They were like, no."
Yeah, that went about as well as one could expect.
When I first played this version of Battlefront 2, well, through the series S, because I was mostly used to playing this on my PS2, I was like, wow, these kind of games were in widescreen? I never knew.
Yeah, the Xbox version again was the more polished one. It had,
that's the thing though, the PS2 was more than capable of doing widescreen games. Maybe I just didn't have the right TV at the time.
Or maybe it was poorly optimized. It's entirely possible that happened. But again, from what I checked, even the remastered collection that got out recently by Aspyr, apparently it's not particularly optimal, unfortunately.
That's why I'm playing the OG version. I got this game long before that version came out.
Sure, it's sufficient enough, you know, might as well. It's not like that version added new things to do anyway. Alright, just to mention, because if I recall correctly, I noticed that while having to edit this part, Dwibs did had a bit of a trouble actually having to land on the right spot, but I had to trim a lot of fat from this.
Yeah, basically I spent like a good chunk and wasted reinforcement counters because the game for some reason decided, nope, I got to try and land on this exact pixel, or apparently I have to go out the other side and then land there.
I guess it did not register that you were entering with the vehicle, I guess. So.
I don't know.
Glitch, I'll just chuck it up.
But it was a complete pain in the arse.
Recorder's curse, yeah.
That's the thing though, it did this to me a while before, I remember.
Then it must be like a recurring type of glitch. It's entirely possible with this kind of games.
Damn, what a coward I am, destroying these droids when their backs are turned.
I'm not even sure they care. Again, if there was one thing that was known, is that the separatist battle droids, at least the first batch, were particularly, you know, cheap in order to be made.
Well, by Revenge of the Sith, they gave the droids more human-sounding voices.
And also by the end of episode 2, because of the new contract with the banking clan, they did have the Model 2 going on, which are much more deadly. We saw those in previous missions, the one with the wrist laser.
The super battle droids.
Yes, and by the time of
episode... they're the main troops in they're the main units in this game for the CIS.
And for by the time of episode 3, they also had different equipment for the terrain since the war had fully escalated. Like you're about to see also Kashyyk.
And yeah, your comrades give you like positive dialogue whenever you kill a bunch of enemies in one go.
Positive reinforcement for the win.
Alright, another thing, but okay, it's not for these missions, not for the space combat missions, but for on the ground. It works pretty much the same way that you would think of something like Quake or Team Fortress Evolution. It's about conquering the control points, as we even mentioned. You have to stand close to it and then wait until the color, you know, shifts from the enemy team to yours. Again, the control points, or as the game itself, you know, abbreviates CP. You must conquer all of the CP. How did you manage to steal one of these Astro Droid, you know, spaceships? If I recall correctly, by the time of episode 3, they were sentient on their own instead of requiring...
They hacked it, I guess.
Yeah, let's go with that. I'm sure there's a comic that actually explains how they do it.
As the 501st finally broke through the SEP blockade over Kashyyk, I took a long look back at the battle that continued to rage over the planet, and wondered why so many had to die for a bunch of walking carpets.
I mean...
Then I followed my orders.
That's racist.
Yeah.
Remember, we have clones to thank for the slur against robots these days.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so next we actually had to properly land on Kashyyk.
A line in the sand.
The 501st has reinforced the Wookiee defenders at a key refinery. Master Yoda himself is coordinating the defense of this critical installation. The line has been drawn. There can be no retreat.
Why'd I think you were gonna say for a moment there can be no survivors?
That's not the Republic's thing.
When we arrived
Yet.
on Kashyyk, things were just as bad as we feared. The droids had us outgunned, outmaneuvered, and outmanned by a 5-to-1 margin. What none of us had counted on was the Wookiees. We'd all heard the stories, of course, but we'd never...
You'll be surprised, Commander. These people really want to celebrate Life Day that year.
Magnificent. Even so, it was still a suicide mission.
Which, by the way, it is still canon in some fashion.
Yep, they kept it and everything for that Star Wars holiday special involving Rey.
The holiday special, or the original holiday special, is still not canon, but elements of it have been extrapolated. Chewbacca's family, like yourself mentioned.
This mission is full of the defend this one thing for a set amount of time.
I mean, it kind of makes sense, considering it's literally about basically us standing on the ground. Then there's the character of Akmina, the one played by BR4. She did show up in a comic line post-acquisition. And as recently as the Skeleton Crew, if you don't know, one of the more recent series, they also did canonize the stupid circles at the beginning, Hollow Circles, as an entertainment form of VR, you know, toy for children.
Let's be honest. I've always felt that them trying to say, oh, well, you see, the holiday special is not canon. That's just them being cowards. Like, they keep aspects of it anyway, like, and really, are we truly that bad off if it's canon or not, essentially? Like, yes,
I mean,
it's
I
a terrible
would raise
series.
an eyebrow if they bother to actually mention that Gurmanda, the multi-armed blackface chef from, you know, that cooking segment is canon, which apparently the character still is, you know, just briefly mentioned in one of the actual, you know, for in-universe cooking books. Why would you even do that?
So let me get this straight. One of the few reasons to actually decanonize the holiday special, and they didn't decanonize her. Perfect. Just absolutely wonderful. Although
just have it be everyone was on drugs or something.
I mean,
hey, Carrie Fisher literally was on drugs.
Yeah.
Poor soul.
I mean, although I don't know, maybe she enjoyed it. She kept a copy.
How nice! I switched to a heavy trooper and immediately got killed.
Yeah, well, okay, that's the thing about Battlefront. You gotta be wary of that.
That's
sort of
what
stuff.
in the bees gets to be called spawn camping with.
That too, yeah. Don't abuse that.
The only, okay, to be fair, I only played very briefly about the first, either the first Battlefront or this, and the only etiquette that I did knew is that for PvP duel between Jedi and Sith, you needed to jump before starting as a form of signaling that you're ready, basically. That was the, you know, the code to follow back then. It's kind of the equivalent of how in the Dark Souls PvP you do use a particular taunt before starting.
Dwibs killed himself.
I mean, seems to be like it's a you problem.
Seems legit.
The life of a video game character where death is just that meaningless.
But Jova, don't you see? I'm a gamer, truly a gamer, not because I have one life, but because I have many, whatever that stupid phrase on t-shirts is.
Alright, so now this mission, I found we're going to have a mission in a bit where we have to defend the oil refinery behind that wall there from getting blown up. But now for years I was struggling with this bit the most, but a few years after that I figured out a way to basically make this part of the mission a bit more of a doddle.
You do need an engineer,
you'll see it,
as you've been about to
you'll see it in, yeah, you'll see it in a moment.
Bummer.
So yeah, I'm just going to switch to the engineer class. Now the droids will come out of those two side doors there and blow up the winch that's holding that gate up.
Mm-hmm. They're having their own saboteur.
Yeah. Now one way I can get around that is fortunately the game allows me to repair the winch, allowing the door to go back up.
So door goes down, door goes up.
Every time I hear that quote, I just immediately go for the winch.
Which forces the entrances into a choke point.
Yeah. Basically.
Four minutes.
Well, almost 3 by now.
4 minutes. Don't worry, 4 minutes should be just fine.
Hearing that quote over and over again, I did get a bit annoying.
Defend the Puffy Palace, loser.
Yeah, that wasn't even close.
You're an
embarrassment.
No!
Attention, all troopers. These guys are just repairing the wedge every time we destroy it.
It's about sending a message. You know, the first to give up is the loser.
Yeah, you won't break my will of just repairing the thing that you blew up.
Yeah, it's like a staring contest. You know, it's not about you know what happens after. It's about you know, resisting the most.
Jesus Christ. This seawall breaks more often than Lord of the Rings Gollum.
I mean, the fact that he manages to get repaired very easily is at least a saving grace.
Yeah, I mean, I'm much. Although, unfortunately, it means I'm with the shot. I mean, the shotgun's not a bad weapon in this game, but I much prefer the elite rifle you can get as a regular clone trooper.
Neato.
Because yeah, it can pretty much kill enemies with just a single blast. Die, well, blow up because you mean the droids you can't die.
Yeah.
Unless you're General Grievous.
Well, he was more of a cyborg because he used to be organic, but then his components got savage.
So the deal with Grievous is like he was made to be sort of a precursor and prototype to what Darth Vader would end up being, essentially.
How about drinking gate? Take a shot every time he says they've breached the sea wall. Brace yourselves.
I'm not getting drunk. I mean, granted, even with a high tolerance, you'd probably end up incredibly buzzed with how much they say that.
Only almost 30 seconds left.
You were in the way.
You're my way, sir.
Yeah, I accidentally blasted my friend. Sorry.
So what, were you gonna be like the bad guy in the Predator? Shh, gotta be quiet. Bang.
Honestly, that sniper line annoyed me more.
and a sniper just kept me close. It's like insane how someone can legit make a line that right off the cuff just completely misses the point.
Of snipers.
Here we go.
Way to hold them back, man. Now let's push forward and send them packing. Proud I am to stand by Wookiees.
So now it's time for Yoda to actually show up.
Yep. He's voiced by Tom Kane in this game, as he was up until his retirement.
Yeah.
Tom Kane did do a pretty good Yoda voice overall.
Don't tell Icarus that.
Yeah, it has ups and downs, I argue, because the one... Okay, maybe he just wasn't giving a shit for, and I don't blame him, for the campaign of Star Wars Kinect, which in itself, as explained by Darnell Jaddo, that one was done right before the Disney buyout, and its canonicity makes no fucking sense, because it tries to shoehorn in another group of Padawans that got involved with the Clone Wars and did survive Order 66, but compared to everything else that was happening around the time, almost makes no sense. So it was more of a very rushed job to pan out into the game and to slap as a campaign on. And that also involves the group being on Kashyyk during this assault with Yoda.
Yeah, speaking of voice actors, it's going to take us a while to get to Darth Vader, but it's interesting. It's weird how they keep switching back and forth between different Darth Vader actors in the games. Like in some games, he's voiced by Matt Sloan, who most famously voiced him in the Force Unleashed duology. But then they for whatever reason go back to Scott Lawrence, who voices Vader in this game.
I don't know which of the two Dwibs, but we did encounter that as the Doctor in Stephanie Meyer's The Host. It was very regular to voice Star Wars.
Darth Vader
his
first time voicing Darth Vader in the games was in Star Wars TIE Fighter in 1994. And his most recent one was in Star Wars Jedi Survivor in 2023.
I was tempted to actually use the Lego Star Wars Yoda death scream because that's so infamous.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I remember that bit where instead of standing on that plinth, Yoda went down and took on the bad guys himself, but then got blasted away and faded out.
Clearly.
Yeah, I mean, you could break the canon of the films of this game pretty easily,
Now,
and it's
to be
very
fair,
funny.
the Jedi themselves, the characters are saying, I'm needing a break, I'm getting out of here. So they're not dying, they're just being too tired and having a pause, back in the back row. So.
I'm too tired.
With the timely arrival of Master Yoda, the 501st was able to hold the line against the Seps on Kashyyk. We left as heroes. Years later, we'd return as conquerors.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's even still canon these days, but for the Legends part, it was definitely canon that Kashyyk had to be conquered by the Empire violently. It's your first mission in The Force Unleashed, where Vader has to storm the place in order to find a missing Jedi, and that's where he finds Starkiller.
Yeah. So join us next time where we finally bring an end to the Clone Wars and those evil Jedi.
Yeah.
Yes. See you then.
Yeah.